Everybody, welcome to Snow Talk. Meteorologist Brian Good here on this Wednesday, getting you through what will be a difficult time for you snow fans. All right, so be patient. We usually see these what we call January thaws take place. This one's going to be a rather extended one, looks like. Look at our snow stats real quick. 2.4 is where we stand for the season. 2.9 is where or 3.9 is where we should be. 0.8 is where we were last year to date. Keep in mind, last year we still ended up in the plus category on snowfall. Very well could still do it this year. It really only takes one storm because our average has dropped with the new averages that have been adjusted. Only 12.5 is our average now, so it's easier to get to that point. All right, having said that, looking at the snowboard, not exactly the best looking snowboard. Chance for some freezing rain, we'll talk about that on Friday, but I don't see anything wintry-wise that is worth talking about between now and the 24th. After the 24th, different story. We'll get to that in a second. First off, today, we've had this cold front come through last night. We've had some of that moisture left behind. We had some of that moisture freeze up in some black ice in northern counties where temperatures dropped in northern areas into the upper 20s, while southern areas only in the 50s because you're already starting to get back into the surge of warmth now as the warm front moves back into the area. And we're going to see the first batch of rain here is going to pass to our south and east, but this is the one that's going to impact Louisville, and it's going to take until about midday, if not early afternoon, to really move into our area. Some lightning and thunder. Not much below this. I mean, this is going to be the trend. A quick shot of rain and then only spotty drizzle, maybe a sprinkle for the afternoon, and most of the night ahead. The biggest story is the warm air. It's going to bring with it. Little Rock right now, 63. You bet. It's coming our way. And ahead of that could be the potential for some thunder and lightning. We are not outlook for severe weather today. There is, though, the potential for some lightning and thunder. That's outlined here as this warm front passes through. Tomorrow, as the cold front passes in, we are not outlook for severe weather as of yet, but there is at least the potential for lightning and thunder. Just like last night, a marginal risk could come out, but this is not a perfect setup for severe weather, despite the big differences in temperature that we have. It's all by the angles and the wind flows, and everything's just not lining up to what would normally be an eye-opening experience for severe weather. But some gusty winds, you bet. I think we could be back in the wind advisory criteria again for tomorrow. All right, so let's get right into it. Here is Futurecast showing the warm front, midday, early afternoon, lightning and thunder. It's a quick shot, then we can get into the 60s. I mean, we're 64 at 8 o'clock tonight. We're 64 at 2 o'clock in the morning. It's just going to be a warm night tonight. And we're going to stay warm all the way through at least midday Thursday. Then we get the cold front. Now, I still think we have a chance, at least a shot to hit 70, because I think the model is a little too aggressive on a lot of this shower activity popping out ahead of the front. I think it's going to be closer to the actual front itself. Therefore, I think we have a chance to get to that 70-degree mark. Now, if the model's right and we end up with spotty showers in advance of the front, yeah, that will keep us from getting there. Mid-upper 60s at best. Either way, it'll be warm. Cold front moves in. We turn colder by the time we get to the evening rush Thursday. And then the front will tilt, become more east-west, parallel to I-64 as we head into Friday morning. And this is when the forecast gets tricky. Because at this point, we've got to pay attention to the placement of the front where it actually does stop, the wind flow, surface temperatures, and the topography plays a role here because some of these valleys could easily see temperatures lower than what the sensors may be at the nearby airport. So we got to watch how this is going to play out as we head into Friday morning. Now, I think here in the city of Louisville, we usually do really well in these scenarios and stay warmer, of course, with the urban warmth effect here. So we're not too concerned about Louisville. But once you get into Indiana, and as far close to, I should say, is Oldham County and north, we have to watch out for maybe some icy patches could develop. We'll see how it plays out. Here is a Futurecast for the Friday morning time period. Watch, you'll start to see some of that pink showing out. Now, some of this may be in the form of sleet, depends on how thick the cold layer is. If we get some of that cold air to be thicker than what is indicated, we could get more of a sleet deal. If it's way thicker than what's progged, we could actually get snowflakes to come down. And that could be interesting for parts of Indiana. I wouldn't rule that out completely yet. It all depends on how deep and thick the cold air is going to be when it moves in Friday. At this point, it looks to be shallow, so we're leaning more toward freezing rain. But that will be a determining factor, so stay tuned for that. Otherwise, we'll see the potential for some freezing rain to the north on Friday, and pretty much a mix will be a possibility. Notice how even the RPM is trying to hint at maybe a thick enough cold air for maybe some snowflakes to be generated on our northern counties on Friday. We'll watch it. Now, here's what I think is going to happen. We actually have a chance to get into a freezing rain scenario more so as we into Friday night and early Saturday, but we start to lose the moisture on the front, so may become more freezing drizzle as we into Saturday morning. Still could be problematic, don't get me wrong, but not as impacting, hopefully, as a heavier round of that. So still an iffy deal. And again, we're not going to have this nailed down, guys, until we get at least another 24 hours into the future here. So be patient. As far as ice accumulations, again, it's trying to give Louisville an ice accumulation because it doesn't understand the urban effect of the warmth here. But in general, up to about, I would say, a few hundredths of an inch, maybe up to a tenth of an inch in some cases. And that can cause some slick spots. So we've got to watch that, again, as we get closer in time. Then after that, we get into warm flows. We get into Sunday into Monday for Martin Luther King Jr. Day. And then rain. It's a cutoff low. So there's no Arctic air surging behind it. There's no cold source to pull from. Looking ahead, when you look at the atmosphere, the stratosphere, especially over the North Pole, looking at the current setup, it is cold right now in the higher levels of the North Pole. You want it warm, not cold, because that usually means warmer weather in our neck of the woods. What's going to happen, though, as we head into the end of the month, heading toward February, we're seeing signs of warming, stratospheric warming aloft of the pole, which usually translates to cold air being pushed down, and therefore a colder pattern will likely set up shop into the lower 48. We'll see how it plays out. Looking at the Rossby waves, it's been interesting to see that the T1 factor here, which is this purple line, has matched the reality much better than the others have. And notice it is showing a big drop the last week of January, another one beginning of February, and a significant one showing up in many of the model ensembles of the Rossby waves here, coming up with that wave potential toward the end of February. So winter's not done yet, guys. It's not done. We're just having a break. Enjoy it while you can.